Rise and shine, children of the sun. My name is alkebulansechai, and I welcome you all to the first official episode of Becoming Co-Conscious. Wherever you are, whoever you may be with, whatever you're facing, you are exactly where you are meant to be. You are exactly where you are predestined to be. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing out of place. There's nothing that is not meant to be about whatever or wherever you are right now. So, yeah. Today is actually a very special day for me. It is my birthday. +1. Yeah. I feel I'm exactly where I need to be. And that is, I guess, why I am re-recording this. Because I had actually recorded this episode sometime this week. But I feel, man, I'm in my innermost inness. And so I hope you'll enjoy what I have to say, what I have to share with you today. So I say that this is my first official episode because if you had listened to the previous one, I was actually explaining what co-conscious is all about. And with that, I just laid out that co-consciousness is basically means becoming aware of who you are, the part of you that makes you different from everybody else, becoming aware of that part, becoming aware of your crux, of your essence. And so the whole point of this podcast is so that as a collective, we move to that point. We transition to the point where we know who we really are. So we may start building from that point. I believe that it is with utmost importance that before you can go out into the world, before you can build relations with others, before you can establish yourself, you need to know who you are. You need to know what makes you you. You need to know what drives you. You need to know what makes up all those little details that make up your entire being, your entire existence, that make you unique, that make you strong and powerful. I believe that we were all put into this earth for a reason. I don't believe that we just are. I don't believe that we just came into existence. I believe that before we came here, we knew why we were coming here. And it's not that we have forgotten. It is just that part of us that is imprinted within our souls, within our spirits, we have not become aware of. That's if you don't know your life's purpose. And so, if we journey along together, I trust that we will all know, or you will know if you don't yet know, the reason for you to be. We weren't just created to live, laugh, and enjoy life, although, yeah, that is a part of it. But we weren't created to just be and die, or, get born, go to school, go to work, build a family, retire, and, otherwise, what would have been the point of the struggles? What would have been the point of the gifts that we have? Would have been the point of the desires that we have to have an impact in the world or to change the lives of other people? I mean, even with us having relationships with, the next person, it's not just to have a relationship with the next person. I believe it is to, make life easier, make life better, to give a helping hand, to, but then how will you know how or where you are supposed to give a helping hand if you don't know who you are? I might just be rambling right now. Okay. So, we are being fed the illusion that we forget our life's purpose, or we're being given the illusion that we have to find our purpose, as opposed to us already innately knowing our purpose. An analogy. It is like your core, because your purpose has been imprinted within your core. Your core is like, let's say, it's a room, a dark room, and this room is filled with furniture. It's filled, with it's packed with valuable things, and your awareness or your consciousness, let's say it's a torch, and so now you are in this room, but you don't know where everything is, and maybe you don't know what is in the room because it is dark. And so you becoming aware of what is in the room is equivalent to you turning on the torch. And so the brighter the torch, the more you get to see. As you explore the room and you open the cupboards and shine the light within those cupboards, that's equivalent to you unfolding yourself and you going deeper into yourself and, becoming aware of what is already within you. So it is not that you have to go outside of yourself to know yourself. Instead, you are supposed to go inside and open up what nobody else can, and go within the depths of yourself that nobody else has ever explored. So in my belief or my theory is that um, the reason we are not conscious of our core, like immediately after being born or as we are born into the earthly realm, I think it's probably because, but that's just my theory, I think it's because the spiritual realm is of a higher dimension than the physical realm. When we come into the physical from the spirit, everything that we are, our entire being, is compressed into a lower dimension. And so that does not necessarily mean that anything is taken away from us. Instead, it has been compressed. And when yes, it's made smaller, and when we are here, because the 3D has got the third dimension, which is the earth, it has got its limitations and it's got its restrictions and it's got, all these things that make the spiritual realm seem like it's crazy. But in one thing a point we need to get to is that we need to understand that first and foremost, we are spirit, we are souls, and we inhabit a physical form. We are not flesh. That is why our spirits can transcend from one dimension to the other. It's like before babies were born into the earth, that does not mean that they didn't exist elsewhere. Where they existed, they did not exist as physical, obviously, because they get their bodies in this realm. And so that means that they existed as spirit. And so it's the same as when someone dies. They don't die with their body remains here in the third dimension, in the physical world. And it's not that they die, their bodies may die, or but what happens is that they transcend to another realm. If you are a person who believes in ancestors, or if you believe in Jesus, he didn't, or they didn't, leaving this earth, they don't leave as physical, they leave as spirit. That is why we are still able to talk to them, because they're still alive. They're still able to talk to us. We still have contact, and though our contact is spiritual, because they are spirit and we are spirit, and that is the common thing between us. Okay, so I'm digressing, actually. I don't think I mentioned the topic. Okay, so what I'm focusing on, actually, in this episode, is I'm focusing on the journey to your core. So it's the journey back to yourself. It's the journey back to your higher self, back to your inner child, back to your godly self, you know. Many people define it as many things. How I believe is that it is a journey back to your godly self. And so, you know, living in this world or journeying in the earthly realm, it means that we get to go through a lot of challenges. We get to go through things that probably cause trauma, you know. Besides, yes, there is the good, yes, there is the bad, and even with the challenges and the obstacles, yes, they do serve as instruments or tools to help us become all that we were created to be. But with all those obstacles and all those challenges that we face in life, before we can actually go back to who we truly are, before we can go back to who we truly are and who we were truly created to be, so that we may live out our life's purpose, we need to go through a process, or that involves a process of healing. It involves a process of having to get real with yourself and actually suss yourself. If you cannot be real with yourself, then who are you going to be real with? If you can't face yourself in the mirror and actually dig deep and dig deep within yourself and unpack everything that needs to be unpacked, then you are going to remain the same. So the journey back to yourself is equivalent to you unlayering yourself, just like an onion. All the traumas, all the obstacles, all the challenges, everything, the good, the bad in our lives, they serve as layers that have been built upon our core. Because remember, our core is basically our foundation. It is our roots. And so with every experience that you have in life, especially the experiences that cause you to close off to the world, or experiences that may cause you to want to protect yourself from the world and all its dangers or all its harm, those experiences are causing you to put more layers on yourself. And so when you operate with a core that has been layered, I think you can agree that then you don't operate from your true essence, because you're trying to protect yourself. And so that does not necessarily mean that you're a bad person. Trying to protect yourself is just a natural thing. We all do it. We've all done it. We've all gone through traumas. We've all gone through struggles and tough times. But yes, you protect yourself from the dangers of life, but with that, you are preventing love, like beautiful things, from reaching your core. Things like love, things like that real genuine love, not what they serve on the streets. Things that are true. You are preventing yourself from experiencing a wonderful, pure life, the life that you were intended to live. And it goes without saying, the life that you were created for, the life that you are predestined for, requires a sort of purity from you. And by purity, it means you need to be vulnerable. You need to be at a point where you can allow, whether pain, suffering, love, joy, you can allow all of that within your space without it having to change the person that you are, the person that you innately are. And so that's why you need to remove all the layers that aren't true to you. That's why you need to remove the bandages and look at your wounds and ask yourself how it came to be. And not in terms of, I know they say that you shouldn't look back, but the only time I feel you can look back is if you are trying to heal, so not look back so that you can incite regret, but to look at your wounds and to, how did this happen? If maybe did I play a part in all of this? Because then how will you be able to have compassion and empathy and towards those that you were called for, if your core is hardened, if your core has got all these layers that don't allow you to be vulnerable and don't allow you to feel, not only for yourself but also for others. So for me, when I began my healing journey forcefully, may I add, I was having a conversation with someone, and this person, started asking, we were talking about an incident that played out between us way back in the day. And so while we were having this conversation, I realized that how things, because we all have our narrative, or perception of how things are or how things played out when you maybe have a disagreement with somebody, or fallout with somebody. But with that conversation, it made me realize that at the time, my behavior also was conducive to how things played out, and that incited my healing process. Obviously, had I known then what I know now, I would have done better. But I'm a person who believes that everything happens for a reason, and so, things played out exactly as they should have. And so, but when time went on, I realized that when time went on and my healing journey, was in process, I realized that I was broken, that I've always been broken, and I guess I was living on brokenness, and I wasn't even aware of it. And so I realized that even in my relationships, I used to give myself freely, to people, and people obviously didn't deserve me. People who took advantage of me, people who saw what I didn't see in myself, and I guess they were taking before I could wake up, And now recently, I actually sat down with myself, and I realized that my brokenness actually began at an early age. I think I was still in primary school or preschool. I can't put a date, I can't put a time to it, but I realized that as people, I guess every single thing that we face, no matter how small it may be, no matter how irrelevant it may seem, it takes one small thing to incite trauma. And so because we are never taught from an early age as to how to identify trauma, or how to deal with certain events that happen to us at an early age. See, by trauma, I don't necessarily mean the heavy stuff, but it could be that maybe growing up, your mom had to go away for work or maybe school, and you were left with your grandparents, and you were raised by your grandparents, something like that. See, then it becomes, or you're expected to deal with that, or you're expected from an early age to be okay with not having a mother around you. And you know, a granny's love is, and I know a granny's love, is the deepest form of love, but sometimes you just want a mother's love, and that is so different. And so we go, and maybe school is somewhat challenging, and not challenging in the terms of maybe you're dumb, no, but maybe your mind isn't at the right place. Maybe you're yearning for something, and maybe you're yearning for your mother, and that causes an inability to concentrate in class, and you get low marks, and you get ridiculed, and you get bullied, and and so you see how deep we need to go, because here you are, let's say you are 35, and yeah, you've made it, you're strong, you've conquered what many people, like what many people would have died even if they'd experienced just a portion, one fraction of everything that you've experienced. But are you satisfied? Like, are you truly, truly satisfied? I am not talking about money here. I'm talking about yourself. The innermost part of you. Are you joyful? Are you happy? Truly happy without the accolades? Are you truly happy without maybe the title that you have? The work title, the wife title. Do you feel maybe that there's more to life, or there's more to all of this? I mean, without taking away everything that you have accomplished, without taking away everything that you need to be proud of, without taking away your strength and your power, do you truly believe you're living the life that was created for you? And so see, that's why I'm here. That's the purpose of this whole thing. When you get back to yourself, when you get back to your core, when you get back to that room, and you shine the light so bright as to discover everything that is within that room, to open up the cupboards, to open up, the windows, the doors, the everything, to wipe off the dust, remove the spider webs, clean up the room, get to a state where your happiness is not happiness, but it is joy. The kind of joy that needs no reason to exist, but it is there, it is innate, the peace that is undescribable, the peace that you cannot fathom. And from that point, from that exact point, you build. You build whatever it is that you feel within you needs to be built. They say that be the change that you want to see in the world. So be that change. Create that change. If you feel that the world is missing something, then maybe you are the one who is supposed to make it happen. You know, if you feel the world is missing African millionaires, then create African millionaires. Because we aren't here for ourselves. We are here to serve. As I am serving you right now, with so much pleasure, believe me. So for today, I'll leave it right there. And I think, I think you've got something to think about. Let's change the paradigm. Let's change the status quo. Let's change how we think. Let's change how we act. And let's do it as a collective. My name is alkebulansechai. It is a pleasure to have had you here. I thank you. You've been listening to Becoming Co-Conscious. Arise and shine.